Sacred Geometry, the Hidden Patterns of the Universe. Introduction. The Divine Blueprint of Reality. Imagine the universe as a vast tapestry, its intricate design woven from patterns that repeat across space and time, connecting stars, planets, atoms, and even our own cells in a grand cosmic order. Sacred geometry is the ancient, mystical science that seeks to understand this divine blueprint, to reveal the hidden structure that forms the foundation of all existence. For millennia, mystics, scholars, and seekers from cultures worldwide have studied these patterns, viewing them not as mere shapes, but as gateways to deeper knowledge and profound spiritual truths. These forms, which manifest in everything from the spiraling arms of galaxies to the crystalline structures of snowflakes, represent universal principles that govern life and connect the seen with the unseen, the material with the spiritual. In the secret orders of the Gnostics, Rosicrucians, and Hermetic scholars, sacred geometry is revered as a language that speaks directly to the soul, bypassing the intellect to awaken a deep-seated recognition within us. The ancient sages believed that by studying these shapes and patterns, one could tap into the essence of creation itself, understanding the divine order that lies behind the veil of everyday experience. To them, sacred geometry was not just a tool for understanding the physical world but a map of spiritual evolution, revealing the path toward inner alignment with universal laws. This knowledge, carefully guarded and passed down through initiations and teachings, offers each seeker a way to glimpse the order behind the chaos and the harmony behind the multiplicity of life. Every shape, every line, every angle carries within it a message, an echo of the divine that resonates through our own being. The circle speaks of unity and wholeness, the triangle of creation and manifestation, the square of stability, and the pentagram of harmony and balance. These are not arbitrary symbols. They are expressions of the universe's fundamental truths, archetypes that exist beyond time and space, resonating with the depths of our consciousness. To contemplate these forms is to embark on a journey of self-discovery, to peel back the layers of our conditioned perception and reveal the eternal truths that lie within. Sacred geometry, then, is a mirror held up to the soul, a reminder of the divine spark that resides in each of us and the potential we carry to align with the cosmos itself. As we venture into the world of sacred geometry, let us approach these forms with reverence and curiosity, for they are keys to unlocking a higher understanding. Through the chapters that follow, we will explore the meanings and mysteries of shapes that go beyond their physical dimensions, delving into the spiritual principles they embody. Each chapter will guide us to contemplate these forms not only as mathematical phenomena but as expressions of the sacred. In doing so, we will come to see that geometry is not confined to textbooks or architecture. It is a living presence, a cosmic language through which the universe speaks to us, urging us to recognize our place within its vast, interconnected web. Let us begin this journey into the sacred geometry of the soul, opening ourselves to the ancient wisdom that flows through each symbol, each pattern. As we delve into the mysteries of the circle, the triangle, the square, and beyond, may we come to understand these forms as reflections of our own being, mirrors of our potential to live in harmony with the universal rhythms that govern all creation. With an open heart and a mind attuned to the mysteries, let us step into the sacred space where geometry reveals the divine, guiding us toward a deeper sense of connection, purpose, and transcendence. Before we dive into this transformative audiobook, hit like and subscribe if you're ready to learn something truly powerful. Your support helps bring more audiobooks like this to the channel. Thanks for being with us. Chapter 1. The Language of Sacred Geometry. Sacred geometry speaks to us in a language that predates human words, a symphony of shapes and symbols that resonates with the soul rather than the intellect. These forms, simple yet profound, carry within them the secrets of existence, each one a reflection of the divine order underlying all things. To the ancient mystics, sacred geometry was more than a mathematical study. It was a spiritual practice, a path to understanding the fabric of reality. The circles, triangles, and spirals found throughout the cosmos are not mere coincidences but intentional echoes of universal principles. They are the language of creation itself, conveying truths that touch us at a level deeper than conscious thought, speaking directly to the core of our being. According to Hermetic teachings, as above, so below, as within, so without, a phrase that illuminates the nature of sacred geometry. These shapes, found in the microcosm of atoms and the macrocosm of galaxies, illustrate how the same patterns are reflected at every level of existence. In the smallest details, we find the imprint of the vast. In the vast, the familiar presence of the minute. To study sacred geometry is to glimpse the divine architecture that binds the seen with the unseen, the physical with the spiritual. The Hermeticists, Rosicrucians, and Gnostics saw these shapes as guides, each one a doorway into a greater understanding of the universe and ourselves. Through sacred geometry, they sought to unveil the hidden structure of reality, to commune with the source of all things. Every line, angle, and proportion in sacred geometry holds meaning, carrying a vibration that influences the spaces it occupies and the minds that contemplate it. These forms are infused with a sense of harmony and balance, a resonance that subtly aligns us with the universal flow. A circle, for example, embodies wholeness and continuity, drawing us into an awareness of the eternal and cyclical nature of life. The triangle, a shape of stability yet also dynamism, represents the trinity of creation, preservation, and transformation. Each of these shapes embodies principles that, when contemplated, awaken within us a memory of unity and connection to something greater than ourselves. In this way, sacred geometry serves as a bridge between the physical and metaphysical realms, offering insights that can be felt as much as understood. The language of sacred geometry does not require explanation. It transcends the limitations of thought and logic. When we engage with these forms, we are reminded of an ancient knowing that lies dormant within us, a wisdom older than language and as vast as the cosmos itself. Just as music moves us without words, sacred geometry stirs the soul, activating a recognition of patterns and principles that resonate with the core of who we are. It is as though, in contemplating these shapes, we are conversing with the universe in its native tongue, a language both infinite and intimate, as much within us as it is around us. Through this language, we are invited to see ourselves not as separate entities but as integral parts of a cosmic whole, interconnected with all that exists. As you reflect upon sacred geometry, ask yourself, how do these shapes and patterns influence my perception of reality? What do I feel when I encounter the symmetry and order they represent? Consider how sacred geometry might serve as a portal, a way to connect with the deeper truths that guide our lives. By opening yourself to this language of form and proportion, you are not only studying geometry, you are engaging in a dialogue with the universe itself. In this silent conversation, may you come to know the presence of the divine blueprint within and around you, a constant reminder that we are all part of a greater design, woven from the same patterns, guided by the same principles, and united in the mystery of existence. Chapter 2. The Circle, Unity and Wholeness. The circle is perhaps the most ancient and profound symbol in sacred geometry, a shape that embodies unity, infinity, and the divine source from which all things emerge. Without beginning or end, the circle is a reminder of the wholeness inherent in existence, a completeness that transcends fragmentation. For the mystics of old, the circle represented the One, the primal source of creation that holds within it the potential for all forms and expressions. In its boundless embrace, the circle speaks to us of eternity and interconnectedness, inviting us to see beyond the illusions of separation and recognize our place within a unified whole. It is a symbol of perfection, yet also of constant motion, a reminder that within unity lies the rhythm of life itself, endlessly expanding and contracting. In Rosicrucian thought, the circle is often associated with the divine, the eternal presence that sustains all things. It is the backdrop against which all creation unfolds, the vastness from which life takes shape and to which it ultimately returns. To draw a circle is to invoke this divine principle, to create a space where the sacred can enter and dwell. It is no coincidence that sacred sites, rituals, and meditative practices often incorporate circles, for they act as conduits to connect the earthly with the cosmic, the finite with the infinite. The circle draws us into its center, a point that symbolizes the origin of all things, a place of stillness and potential. When we meditate on the circle, we are reminded of our own center, the innermost part of ourselves that remains whole and untouched amidst the flux of life. As we contemplate the circle, we are invited to reflect on our relationship with wholeness and unity. The circle is both an enclosure and an opening, a boundary that encompasses all and yet is open to the infinite beyond its edge. It reminds us that true wholeness does not exclude or separate but embraces and unites. Within the circle, there is room for all things: light and shadow, joy and sorrow, creation and dissolution. To embrace the circle's wisdom is to accept that life's many facets are not contradictions but complementary aspects of a greater truth. In this acceptance, we begin to see that our lives, too, are part of a larger cycle, that each moment, each experience, contributes to the unfolding of a unified story, one that is as vast and timeless as the circle itself. The circle also teaches us about cycles, the rhythm of beginnings and endings that permeate existence. Just as the sun rises and sets, seasons change, and lives come and go, the circle reminds us that all things move in cycles, each one returning to its source only to begin anew. This cyclical nature is not a mere repetition but a spiral of growth, each turn bringing us closer to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe. By embracing the circle's cyclical wisdom, we learn to flow with life rather than resist it, to trust in the natural order of beginnings, growth, and returns. In this trust, we find peace, an alignment with the flow of the cosmos that liberates us from the need for control and opens us to the beauty of each moment as it unfolds within the grand design. Reflect on the presence of the circle in your own life. Ask yourself, where do I see unity and wholeness? How might I embrace the cycles of my own growth with greater trust and openness? Consider the ways in which this simple, profound shape appears around and within you, a silent reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. In recognizing the circle's wisdom, you tap into a deeper awareness of life's seamless web, where each individual thread contributes to the overall pattern. By aligning with this sense of unity, you awaken to the sacredness of existence, understanding that you are both a unique expression and an inseparable part of the cosmic whole, drawn ever toward the center where all things meet in peace and endless continuity. Chapter 3. The Triangle, Trinity and Manifestation. The triangle, with its 3 points and balanced sides, stands as a symbol of creation and manifestation, a sacred form that reflects the triadic nature of existence. In many mystical traditions, the triangle represents the unity of 3 distinct forces coming together to birth something new: spirit, soul, and body, mind, heart, and will, or creation, preservation, and transformation. These triads speak to the essential balance required for life to unfold and evolve. The triangle's shape inherently holds a sense of upward or downward movement, symbolizing the ascent toward higher wisdom or the descent of divine energy into the material world. In its simplicity, the triangle embodies the principle of harmony through balance, suggesting that true power arises when distinct elements come together in unity. Within the Hermetic tradition, the triangle is revered as the first shape of creation, a foundational form that allows for the emergence of complexity from simplicity. It is the structure upon which all other shapes are built, containing within it the seed of multiplicity. The Hermeticists saw the triangle as the point at which the one, the undivided source, divides itself into aspects without losing its unity. This concept echoes through the symbolism of the triangle, where each point is distinct yet connected, illustrating that separation is an illusion within the context of the whole. The Trinity of creation, the interplay of forces that generates all that is, embodies the wisdom that life is not a series of isolated events but a continuous flow, each element contributing to a larger pattern of existence. The upward-pointing triangle, often associated with fire and masculine energy, represents the drive toward knowledge, action, and expansion. It speaks to our desire to reach beyond ourselves, to seek higher truths and transcend our limitations. This triangle, in many traditions, symbolizes the aspirational nature of the soul, its yearning for enlightenment and union with the divine. Conversely, the downward-pointing triangle, associated with water and feminine energy, represents receptivity, intuition, and the descent of spirit into matter. It symbolizes the divine reaching down to embrace the material world, embodying qualities of surrender and nurturing. When these two triangles are combined, they form the hexagram, a symbol of harmony between spirit and matter, the sacred marriage of the masculine and feminine within the self. Contemplating the triangle invites us to examine the balance of these forces within ourselves. We are each composed of mind, body, and spirit, elements that must work in harmony to create a fulfilling, aligned existence. Just as the triangle achieves stability through its 3 points, so do we find stability when these aspects of ourselves are in balance. When we neglect one element, perhaps focusing solely on intellect at the expense of emotional or spiritual growth, we lose the harmony that sustains our well-being. The triangle reminds us that balance is not about erasing differences but about embracing them, allowing each part of ourselves to contribute to the whole. In this balance, we find the power to create, to manifest our visions, and to bring forth new realities from the depths of our being. Reflect on the role of the triangle in your own life. Consider the triadic forces at play within you. Where do mind, body, and spirit converge? How do intellect, emotion, and action harmonize to create your reality? The triangle encourages you to bring awareness to these dynamics, to see how you might integrate these forces in a way that honors each while contributing to a unified sense of purpose. By embracing the wisdom of the triangle, you align yourself with the principles of creation and manifestation, recognizing that true power lies not in singular pursuits but in the integration of all aspects of the self. As you connect with this sacred form, may you find within it a source of strength and clarity, a reminder of the harmonious unity that exists within all things and the creative potential that flows from balanced forces working in unison. Chapter 4. The Square, Stability and Foundation. The square, with its 4 equal sides and right angles, represents stability, groundedness, and the physical foundation upon which all structures are built. Unlike the circle and triangle, which symbolize movement and ascent, the square is steadfast and unyielding, a reminder of the stability required for creation to be sustained in the material world. It stands for the physical realm, embodying the earth element, the tangible, and the manifest. For this reason, the square is often associated with the 4 elements, earth, water, fire, and air, each of which forms the building blocks of nature. In the realm of sacred geometry, the square speaks to the solidity and structure that allow life to take form and flourish, rooting the ethereal into the world of matter. In Rosicrucian and other esoteric traditions, the square is revered as a symbol of the fourfold nature of reality. Just as the 4 elements sustain life, so do the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west, orient us within space. The square thus embodies the completeness of physical existence, reminding us that while the spiritual and intangible hold vast potential, it is the grounded aspects of life that provide the necessary stability for growth. The square represents the sacred space, the temple, the foundation upon which spiritual insights can be anchored and actualized. To work with the square is to honor the material world as sacred, to see the divine presence within form, and to recognize that the spiritual and physical are not separate but are expressions of the same truth in different forms. The square's stability also reflects the qualities of discipline and resilience. Just as a building relies on a solid foundation to stand firm, our lives require a stable base to endure challenges and support our aspirations. The square encourages us to cultivate this inner foundation by embracing practices and values that ground us: honesty, commitment, patience, and integrity. These qualities create a structure within which our spirit can move freely, providing boundaries that prevent us from becoming scattered or unbalanced. While the square may seem rigid compared to the fluidity of other shapes, it offers a strength that is essential for any creative endeavor to thrive. To embrace the square's energy is to develop the inner fortitude needed to bring our visions into reality, to withstand the tests of time and circumstance. In the mystical traditions, the square is often seen as a symbol of initiation, a foundation upon which higher knowledge can be built. It is the grounding force that prepares the seeker for spiritual ascent. Just as the square's four corners provide a stable base, so must we cultivate the four aspects of our being: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, in equal measure. Only when these aspects are harmonized can we experience the unity and balance that allow for spiritual growth. This balanced foundation supports the journey toward wisdom, for without stability, we cannot reach higher planes of understanding. The square, then, becomes a reminder that our spiritual path must be anchored in the practical, that enlightenment is not an escape from the physical but an integration of the divine within the everyday. Reflect on the role of stability and foundation in your life. Where do you feel grounded, and where do you sense instability? The square asks you to consider how you might create a stronger foundation within yourself, to examine the habits and practices that sustain you. It encourages you to embrace discipline not as a limitation but as a source of strength, a way to channel your energy toward your highest intentions. By aligning with the square, you connect to the strength of the earth itself, building a foundation that can support your growth and aspirations. May you find in the square a reminder that true power lies in balance and stability, and that a life built upon these principles is one that can weather any storm, supporting you in your journey toward a deeper understanding of the mysteries that lie within and beyond. Chapter 5. The Pentagram, Harmony and Protection. The pentagram, a five-pointed star within a circle, is one of the most potent and recognizable symbols in sacred geometry, representing balance, harmony, and the alignment of spirit and matter. Rooted in ancient mystical traditions, the pentagram has long been seen as a symbol of human potential, embodying the perfect integration of the physical and spiritual realms. The 5 points of the star align with the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and spirit, signifying the harmonious balance between our material existence and the unseen forces that animate it. The pentagram invites us to recognize that we are not merely physical beings but spiritual entities inhabiting the physical world, and our true strength lies in uniting these aspects of ourselves. In occult traditions, including the Hermetic and Rosicrucian teachings, the pentagram is revered as a symbol of protection and sacred power. Its geometry is often inscribed as a talisman, a barrier against negative energies and a reminder of our inherent divine nature. When drawn with intention, the pentagram becomes a protective boundary, sealing and safeguarding the energies within. This is not mere superstition but a reflection of an esoteric principle, that through awareness and intentionality, we can create harmony within and around us. By aligning with the pentagram, we center ourselves, affirming our place within the cosmos, grounded in both our earthly existence and our spiritual essence. In this way, the pentagram becomes a symbol of our own alignment with universal forces, a tool to help us maintain balance amid life's challenges. The geometry of the pentagram also reflects the golden ratio, a mathematical proportion found throughout nature in everything from the spirals of seashells to the branching of trees. This ratio is considered the epitome of beauty and balance, and it imbues the pentagram with an aura of natural harmony. To the ancient Greeks and later to Renaissance philosophers, the pentagram symbolized the ideal of harmony, a union of aesthetics, ethics, and spirituality. It served as a reminder that true beauty arises from balance, a balance that we, too, can embody by aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions. As we contemplate the pentagram, we are invited to harmonize our inner world, recognizing that the peace we seek externally must first be cultivated within ourselves. In the human form, the pentagram is also symbolic, with each point corresponding to a part of the body, the head, arms, and legs, all extending from the center where the spirit resides. This configuration reflects our capacity for conscious action, guided by spirit yet expressed through the body. The pentagram reminds us of our sacred responsibility to bring our spiritual ideals into the material world, to act in ways that honor both our earthly and divine natures. In embodying the pentagram, we strive to live in harmony with both realms, bringing the light of our inner truth into the world through the choices we make and the lives we lead. It becomes a template for living with integrity, each point a reminder of the balance we must seek between thought and action, intention and impact. Reflect on your own sense of harmony and protection. How do you balance the elements within you? Earth's groundedness, water's flow, fire's energy, air's clarity, and spirit's guidance. Consider how these elements manifest in your life and how aligning them might bring you greater peace and resilience. The pentagram encourages you to see yourself as a vessel of these universal forces, each one contributing to the whole that is you. By embracing the harmony it represents, you connect with an ancient wisdom that transcends fear, a strength that is both protective and empowering. May you find in the pentagram a reminder of your sacred potential, a symbol of the unity between your physical and spiritual selves, and a source of strength that guides you toward a life of balance, harmony, and purposeful presence. Chapter 6. The Hexagram, Integration of Heaven and Earth. The hexagram, known as the Star of David or the Seal of Solomon, is a symbol of profound integration, embodying the union of heaven and earth, spirit and matter, masculine and feminine. Formed by the interlocking of two triangles, one pointing upward, the other downward, the hexagram represents the merging of opposites into a harmonious whole. It speaks of balance, not through division, but through synthesis, a sacred marriage between forces that appear opposite yet are complementary. In the mysteries of sacred geometry, the hexagram serves as a portal, inviting us to explore the unity of all things and recognize that duality is but an illusion, for all stems from the same divine source. In Hermetic and alchemical traditions, the hexagram is revered as a symbol of the great work, the process of spiritual transformation through which base matter is elevated to spiritual gold. The upward triangle, associated with fire and masculine energy, symbolizes the ascent of the soul's aspiration, the pursuit of knowledge, enlightenment, and union with the divine. Meanwhile, the downward triangle, linked to water and feminine energy, represents the descent of spirit into the world of form, the nurturing, receptive force that grounds and brings creation into being. When these triangles overlap, they form a six-pointed star, a perfect union of energies that symbolizes the balance necessary for spiritual wholeness. The hexagram, then, becomes a reminder that spiritual evolution requires not only ascent but integration, an embrace of both the heights and depths of our being. The hexagram also resonates with the six directions: north, south, east, west, above, and below, encompassing the totality of space. This six-fold symmetry reflects the principle that all creation exists within a framework of order and harmony. To align ourselves with this order is to recognize that we, too, are part of this cosmic symmetry, our lives shaped by forces that extend beyond our immediate awareness. By contemplating the hexagram, we open ourselves to the idea that true balance lies in acknowledging and uniting these forces within us. The upward and downward triangles remind us that our path is not one of escape from the material world but of grounding our spiritual insights into everyday life, finding sacredness in each action, each interaction. In this way, we become both the seeker and the nurturer, the one who ascends and the one who roots. The hexagram encourages us to bring the divine into the mundane, to weave our spiritual insights into the fabric of our daily existence. This union calls us to balance ambition with compassion, strength with gentleness, knowledge with humility. In our search for self-knowledge and personal power, the hexagram asks us not to transcend the world but to transform it through conscious presence and intention. It is through this integration that we become whole, embodying the qualities of both spirit and matter, the celestial and the earthly. This balanced presence allows us to move through life with grace, grounded in wisdom and attuned to the higher truths that guide us. Reflect on the areas in your life where these dualities appear. Where do spirit and matter, intellect and intuition, action and stillness meet within you? How might you create harmony between them, integrating rather than separating these forces? The hexagram invites you to see your life as an alchemical vessel, one that can hold both the light and the shadow, the aspiration and the rootedness. By embracing this balance, you connect to the ancient wisdom of unity, recognizing that wholeness is achieved not by denying parts of yourself but by honoring them all. May the hexagram remind you of the beauty in unity, the power in integration, and the peace that comes from knowing that you are, in essence, a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Chapter 7. The Spiral: Growth, Expansion, and Cosmic Order. The spiral is a symbol of growth, evolution, and the unfolding journey of life itself. Unlike the fixed forms of the square or circle, the spiral represents movement, an eternal flow outward and inward, revealing a path of continuous expansion and contraction. In sacred geometry, the spiral embodies the dance between the finite and the infinite, guiding us to understand that life is a journey of both outward exploration and inward return. Found in galaxies, seashells, hurricanes, and even in the DNA within our cells, the spiral is a universal pattern that speaks to the very structure of existence. It represents the journey of the soul, which travels outward to experience life in all its diversity and then returns inward, bringing newfound wisdom back to the source. In ancient mystical traditions, the spiral is often seen as a symbol of the soul's path, a journey that is both individual and universal. It reflects the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, as well as the progression of the soul through various stages of consciousness. The spiral is both dynamic and reflective, urging us to recognize that life does not move in linear steps but unfolds in cycles, each one deeper and more expansive than the last. Through the lens of the spiral, we come to understand that growth is not a matter of moving from point A to point B but a continuous process of returning to the center from a higher perspective. This journey is one of perpetual discovery, each turn of the spiral bringing us closer to the essence of who we are. The golden spiral, derived from the Fibonacci sequence, holds particular significance in sacred geometry as a representation of divine order and harmony. This sequence, where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones, creates a ratio that appears repeatedly in nature and art, revealing an underlying pattern of beauty that resonates across all forms. The golden spiral unfolds according to this ratio, expanding outward in perfect harmony, yet always connected to its point of origin. This divine proportion reflects the interconnectedness of all things, showing us that while we may venture far from our origin, we are always part of a larger, harmonious design. By contemplating the golden spiral, we can see our lives as part of this cosmic order, understanding that each experience, whether joyful or challenging, contributes to our overall growth and the expansion of our consciousness. The spiral also teaches us about surrender and acceptance, guiding us to embrace the cyclical nature of change. Life's journey is rarely predictable or smooth. It unfolds in waves and turns, taking us through periods of growth, challenge, and transformation. The spiral invites us to trust in this process, to let go of the need for linear progress and embrace the organic rhythm of life. Each turn of the spiral is both an end and a beginning, an opportunity to gain a broader perspective and integrate the lessons of the past. When we align ourselves with this natural flow, we release the desire for control and find peace in the understanding that life's path is meant to be winding, full of unexpected twists that reveal new depths within ourselves. Reflect on the spiral's presence in your own life. Where have you seen cycles of growth, contraction, and rebirth? How might embracing this rhythm help you navigate change with grace and openness? The spiral encourages you to trust in the journey, to see each experience as part of a greater expansion, and to recognize that progress is not always measured by forward motion but by depth and understanding. By aligning with the spiral's wisdom, you connect to a truth as old as the cosmos: that life is a continuous unfolding, each turn bringing you closer to the core of your being, where wisdom, peace, and infinite potential reside. May the spiral remind you that growth is not a destination but a path, a sacred journey of expansion and return, guiding you ever closer to the heart of all things. Chapter 8. The Vesica Piscis, Divine Union and the Birth of Consciousness. The Vesica Piscis, formed by the intersection of two circles, is one of the most profound symbols in sacred geometry, representing union, balance, and the portal of creation. This shape, often resembling an eye or a seed, speaks of the merging of dualities and the birth of consciousness that emerges from their intersection. In the space where the two circles overlap, a new dimension is created, a place where opposites meet and a third reality is born. The Vesica Piscis, therefore, symbolizes the union of spirit and matter, masculine and feminine, and conscious and subconscious. It is a reminder that creation itself arises from the blending of two distinct forces, and that from this merging, a new, unified form is brought into being. In Rosicrucian and mystical traditions, the Vesica Piscis is seen as a doorway, a liminal space that connects us to higher truths and greater consciousness. It is the point at which the divine touches the earthly, a symbol of enlightenment and the spark of awareness that allows us to transcend ordinary perception. The Vesica Piscis is also the root form of many other sacred shapes, such as the flower of life and the seed of life, which unfold within its structure. Thus, it serves as the origin of countless forms and patterns, mirroring the cosmic principle that all creation is born from the harmonious interaction of complementary energies. By contemplating the Vesica Piscis, we are invited to explore the spaces within ourselves where opposing forces come together, creating unity and awakening a new level of understanding. This symbol also represents the concept of duality and its transcendence. The two circles symbolize individual entities, whether they are ideas, energies, or aspects of the self, that remain distinct yet interconnected. The Vesica Piscis teaches us that true unity does not erase individuality but celebrates it, allowing for a balance where differences can coexist and harmonize. It reminds us that within each of us lies the potential for integration, a space where we can hold our contradictions and conflicts without needing to resolve them into a single truth. By embracing both sides, we access the wisdom that lies beyond duality, a wisdom that recognizes the interconnectedness of all things and allows us to see the world not in terms of division but of unity. The Vesica Piscis is also a symbol of birth and creation, embodying the principle that new life arises from the union of two. This is the sacred union seen in nature, the blending of energies that gives rise to endless forms of expression and experience. The Vesica piscis reminds us that creativity, inspiration, and consciousness are born from the spaces where opposites meet. It encourages us to seek balance within ourselves, to recognize that we are both spirit and body, logic and intuition, strength and vulnerability. By embracing the full spectrum of who we are, we allow new possibilities to emerge, possibilities that honor our wholeness and lead to the flowering of our highest potential. Reflect on the areas in your life where dualities exist, where you feel pulled between contrasting forces. How might you embrace these differences and allow them to coexist, creating a new space of balance and understanding? The Vesica piscis invites you to explore the union within, to seek not division but harmony, and to recognize that in the space of overlap, true consciousness is born. May this symbol remind you of the creative potential that lies within your own unity, and of the wisdom that emerges when you embrace all facets of yourself. In the Vesica piscis, may you find a portal to deeper self-awareness, a place where opposites meet and illuminate the boundless truth of your being. Chapter 9. The Flower of Life, the Blueprint of Creation. The flower of life is among the most revered symbols in sacred geometry, a pattern of overlapping circles that expands infinitely outward, representing the interconnectedness and unity of all life. Containing within it the seeds of creation, the flower of life is often seen as the blueprint from which all other forms arise, encapsulating the very essence of the universe. In its harmonious arrangement, the flower of life illustrates the idea that all beings and phenomena are intricately linked, each one a unique expression of a greater whole. This symbol reminds us that life, in all its complexity, stems from a simple, fundamental design, a divine order that resonates through everything from the galaxies above to the cells within us. In esoteric traditions, the flower of life is not merely a pattern but a cosmic map, a reflection of the structure of reality itself. The symbol holds within it numerous sacred forms, the seed of life, the tree of life, and even the Vesica piscis, all emerging from its elegant symmetry. Ancient mystics believed that meditating on the flower of life could unlock profound knowledge about the origins of existence, revealing secrets of the divine blueprint that underlies the material world. To contemplate this symbol is to peer into the fabric of creation, to sense the unseen threads that bind all beings in a vast web of unity. The flower of life calls us to recognize our place within this grand design, to see ourselves not as separate but as essential parts of a living, breathing cosmos. The beauty of the flower of life lies in its repeating cycles, each one expanding upon the last while remaining connected to the center. This pattern of growth reflects the fundamental principle of evolution and expansion, the idea that life is continuously unfolding, driven by an inner impulse toward greater awareness and complexity. The flower of life teaches us that growth is not linear but cyclical, each phase building upon the foundation laid by the previous one. Just as each circle in the pattern is complete in itself yet contributes to a larger whole, so do our individual lives form part of a greater tapestry, each experience and insight adding to the evolution of consciousness. Through this symbol, we are reminded that we, too, are constantly evolving, spiraling outward from our core, gaining wisdom with each turn of the cycle. The flower of life also serves as a reminder of the sacredness of all things. The same patterns that form the foundation of stars and galaxies can be found in the delicate structure of flowers, the branching of trees, and the growth of crystals. This shared geometry is a testament to the unity of all life, suggesting that every part of creation, no matter how small or grand, follows the same divine principles. By honoring the flower of life, we are invited to see the sacred in the everyday, to recognize that all aspects of life are manifestations of a single, creative force. This realization fosters a sense of reverence and respect, an awareness that we are connected to the entire universe and that every action, every thought, contributes to the whole. Reflect on your own connection to the greater web of life. How does the knowledge of this interconnectedness affect the way you perceive yourself and others? The flower of life invites you to see beyond the illusion of separation, to understand that you are both an individual and an inseparable part of a cosmic design. Contemplate the patterns that shape your own life, the choices, relationships, and experiences that form the fabric of your existence, and consider how they, too, are part of a larger, harmonious whole. May the flower of life remind you of the beauty of unity, the divine order that weaves through all things, and the infinite potential that lies within you as an expression of this timeless, universal pattern. Chapter 10. The Tetractys, Mystical Order and the Decad. The Tetractys, a triangular arrangement of 10 points, is a profound symbol revered by ancient mystics, mathematicians, and philosophers as a representation of divine order and the foundational principles of existence. Arranged in a pyramid of 4 rows, each row increasing by 1 point, the Tetractys embodies the numbers 1 through 4 and, consequently, the sum total of 10, known as the decad. This simple yet elegant figure conveys the mysteries of unity, duality, balance, and wholeness. Pythagoras himself considered the Tetractys sacred, a numerical key to understanding the universe's harmony. Each point, each level within the triangle, corresponds to an aspect of reality, offering a pathway to the soul's journey through physical and spiritual realms. The Tetractys reminds us that from simplicity emerges complexity, that order and harmony govern even the most chaotic facets of life. In mystical traditions, each row of the Tetractys carries a profound significance. The single point at the apex symbolizes unity, the one from which all things emerge, the undivided source of all creation. The second row of 2 points represents duality, the first division that gives rise to opposites and contrast, light and dark, masculine and feminine, matter and spirit. In the third row of 3 points, we encounter the principle of the Trinity, the harmonious integration of opposites that allows for balance, synthesis, and creation. Finally, the fourth row with its 4 points symbolizes stability and foundation, representing the physical world, the 4 elements, and the groundedness needed for spiritual growth. Together, these rows depict the descent of the divine into form and the potential for form to return to divine unity. The Tetractys also embodies the Hermetic and alchemical principles of as above, so below, and as within, so without. Its form shows the connection between the spiritual and material realms, the descending and ascending paths that unite the higher and lower aspects of existence. The Tetractys is both a map of the cosmos and a reflection of the individual soul's journey. Each point represents not only stages of creation but also states of consciousness that we navigate in our own inner journey. The Tetractys reveals that the path to wholeness requires us to integrate these states, to find unity within ourselves as we ascend toward higher awareness. It teaches that order and balance are not imposed from without but discovered within, arising from our ability to see the divine pattern in ourselves and all things. The geometry of the Tetractys encourages meditation on the principles of growth and spiritual evolution. Each level represents a step on the path, a layer of complexity that builds upon the simplicity of the initial unity. This triangular form invites us to view our own lives as a gradual unfolding, where each experience, each realization, serves as a foundation for deeper wisdom. By contemplating the Tetractys, we are reminded that our journey is not random but structured, a sequence of realizations that lead us back to our source. The Tetractys inspires patience and trust in the process, teaching that spiritual growth is incremental and that each step, however small, contributes to the totality of our being. Reflect on the layers of your own journey. Where have you experienced unity, division, balance, and grounding? How do these stages appear in your life as steps toward greater understanding? The Tetractys invites you to see your life as a reflection of this divine order, a journey where each phase and each lesson adds to the whole. Embrace the wisdom of the Tetractys as a reminder that you are part of a cosmic design, a soul on a path of growth and integration. May the Tetractys reveal to you the beauty of gradual transformation, the richness of each step toward enlightenment, and the profound truth that you carry within you the entirety of the cosmos, balanced and whole, as you navigate the journey of existence. Chapter 11. Metatron's Cube, the Sacred Geometry of Creation and Transformation. Metatron's cube, a complex and mystical geometric symbol, is revered as one of the most powerful and intricate forms in sacred geometry. Comprised of 13 interconnected circles that reveal the shapes of all 5 Platonic solids, Metatron's cube embodies the principles of creation, transformation, and the divine blueprint of the universe. This symbol, often associated with the archangel Metatron, represents the harmonious interweaving of structure and flow, reminding us that the universe is founded upon both order and transformative potential. It is believed that through contemplation of Metatron's cube, one can gain insight into the mysteries of creation itself, understanding that all forms in existence, from atoms to galaxies, emerge from this sacred geometric pattern. Metatron's cube serves as a reminder that the universe is inherently structured yet infinitely creative, an endless dance of stability and change. In Hermetic and mystical traditions, Metatron's cube is seen as a map of the cosmos and a gateway to higher realms of consciousness. The central structure of the cube, made up of interconnected lines and shapes, contains the tetrahedron, hexahedron, octahedron, dodecahedron, and icosahedron, the Platonic solids that underlie all matter. These solids are thought to represent the elemental energies of fire, earth, air, water, and ether, respectively, and they serve as the foundation for all physical manifestation. By meditating on Metatron's cube, we align ourselves with these elemental forces, allowing us to connect deeply with the energies that shape reality. Metatron's cube teaches us that every part of existence is woven from the same universal fabric, reminding us of our own connection to this divine structure and our capacity to manifest, transform, and transcend. Metatron's cube is not only a symbol of creation but also one of transformation and spiritual evolution. Its structure represents both the microcosm and the macrocosm, the interplay between the smallest particles and the vastness of the cosmos. The sacred geometry within Metatron's cube reveals a path of inner transformation, suggesting that as we align with its patterns, we open ourselves to deeper truths about our own nature and the world around us. This symbol invites us to journey inward, to explore the layers of our consciousness, and to recognize that transformation begins within. Just as Metatron's cube embodies all potential forms, so do we carry within us the potential to grow, evolve, and align with higher states of awareness. It reminds us that our own spiritual journey mirrors the creative process, a gradual unfolding that brings us closer to the divine. As a tool for contemplation, Metatron's cube encourages us to embrace both the order and mystery of existence. Each line, each angle within the cube, is precise and intentional, yet the whole pattern exudes a profound mystery, an indication that there is always more to uncover, more to understand. By reflecting on Metatron's cube, we are prompted to consider the balance between knowledge and wonder, between what can be known and what must be felt. It teaches that true understanding is not merely intellectual but experiential, an integration of mind, body, and spirit. In the presence of Metatron's cube, we are reminded to approach life with curiosity, to honor the structure of reality, yet remain open to the transformative forces that continuously shape and reshape our understanding. Consider the elements of structure and transformation in your own life. Where do you find stability, and where do you feel the pull of change and growth? Metatron's cube invites you to embrace both aspects, to see your life as a pattern unfolding according to a divine design. Reflect on the ways in which you create and transform, how you bring structure to your intentions and openness to life's mysteries. May Metatron's cube serve as a reminder of the boundless potential that lies within you, A call to honor the sacred geometry of your own being as you journey through the realms of creation and transformation, always connected to the intricate web of the universe. As we near the conclusion, if you've been enjoying the audiobook, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Drop a comment below and share your biggest takeaway. Chapter 12. Sacred Geometry in Nature, the Divine Patterns Around Us. Sacred geometry is not confined to symbols on parchment or diagrams within ancient texts. It is woven into the very fabric of nature itself. The divine patterns that compose sacred geometry are mirrored in the world around us, in the spirals of seashells, the branching of trees, the symmetry of snowflakes, and the geometry of crystals. These natural forms reflect the universal order, revealing that nature itself is an expression of sacred principles. This interconnectedness invites us to see the earth as a living testament to the sacred, a place where the unseen patterns of the cosmos are made visible. The wisdom of the ancients whispers through these forms, reminding us that every stone, every leaf, every star is part of a larger, harmonious design. From the spiraling galaxies in the heavens to the unfurling of a fern, we find that the patterns of sacred geometry permeate every level of existence. These shapes are not arbitrary. They follow principles of harmony, proportion, and balance that have been revered since ancient times. The Fibonacci sequence, for instance, appears in the petals of flowers and the scales of pine cones, unfolding in a pattern that grows outward yet remains anchored to its origin. The golden ratio, another fundamental principle, is seen in the proportions of animal bodies, human faces, and even weather patterns. This repetition of shapes across all scales of existence suggests a universal blueprint, a divine intelligence that weaves its wisdom into every facet of creation. In observing these patterns, we glimpse the mind of the cosmos, the silent presence that orchestrates life in all its beauty and complexity. Nature's geometry is not only beautiful but deeply instructive, teaching us about the harmony and balance that underpin existence. The hexagonal cells of a honeycomb, the crystalline structures of minerals, the branching of rivers, all reveal a natural intelligence, a structural wisdom that promotes efficiency, strength, and resilience. These forms, perfected over millennia, embody principles that can guide us toward greater harmony in our own lives. By observing nature, we learn that life is most vibrant when it flows within the boundaries of balanced form, when each part fulfills its role in service to the whole. Nature's geometry invites us to align with this balance, to find our place within the universal structure, and to live in accordance with the principles that sustain the earth and all life upon it. Sacred geometry in nature also connects us to the cycle of life, the rhythm of birth, growth, death, and renewal that pervades all existence. The circular rings of a tree, marking each year of growth, mirror the cycles of time, a visual testament to nature's ongoing process of renewal. The spiral shell of a nautilus, expanding outward while remaining connected to its center, reflects the journey of the soul, eternally evolving while remaining rooted in its essence. These forms teach us to honor the natural cycles within ourselves, to recognize that change and growth are fundamental to our being. Just as nature transforms with grace and continuity, so too are we called to embrace our own cycles of transformation, understanding that they are part of a larger, divine rhythm. Reflect on the patterns and cycles that you observe in your own life. Where do you see symmetry, balance, and flow, and where do you feel the need for greater harmony? Nature's sacred geometry encourages us to see ourselves as part of a greater whole, to find in our lives the same principles that guide the stars and shape the seashells. By aligning with these natural patterns, we open ourselves to a deeper wisdom, one that transcends words and speaks to the core of our being. May the geometry of nature serve as both a mirror and a guide, reminding you of the beauty, order, and interconnectedness that define all things. In these divine patterns, may you find inspiration to live with grace, purpose, and a profound respect for the sacredness of life. Final chapter, Integrating Sacred Geometry, a meditation on the patterns of life. As we reach the culmination of this journey through sacred geometry, we find ourselves at the threshold of integration, where the principles we have explored come together to form a cohesive understanding of our place within the cosmos. Each symbol, each pattern, each shape has guided us closer to the divine architecture that underlies reality, revealing that we, too, are expressions of this universal geometry. Sacred geometry is not merely an external phenomenon. It is woven into the very fabric of our being, present in every breath, every heartbeat, and every thought. In this final chapter, let us embark on a meditation that connects us to these patterns, allowing us to internalize their wisdom and live in harmony with the sacred design. Begin by finding a quiet space, where you feel connected to the earth beneath you and the sky above. Close your eyes, taking a deep, grounding breath, and let yourself become aware of the gentle rhythm of your own body. Feel the pulse of life within, the rhythm that mirrors the beat of the universe. In this stillness, bring to mind the patterns of sacred geometry, the circle, the triangle, the spiral, and the cube. Visualize each form one by one, allowing it to appear before you in vivid detail. As you breathe, imagine these shapes as points of light within your body, symbols of universal energy residing within you. Feel the harmony of the circle in your heart, the stability of the square in your spine, the expansion of the spiral in your mind, and the balance of the hexagram throughout your entire being. Now, visualize Metatron's cube, the structure that contains all other forms within it, as an intricate pattern of light surrounding and filling you. See its lines as threads of energy, connecting each part of your being to the greater whole. This sacred structure represents both the physical and spiritual dimensions, a reminder that you are a microcosm of the universe. With each breath, imagine Metatron's cube expanding and contracting, reflecting the pulsation of life itself. Feel how each shape within the cube brings its own qualities to your energy field: stability, growth, harmony, and transformation. As you breathe, let yourself merge with this form, embodying the completeness and balance it represents. Trust that within this structure, you hold the potential for infinite growth, transformation, and wisdom. Turn your attention to the flower of life, visualizing it as a radiant pattern of interlocking circles, each one representing an aspect of your life, your relationships, dreams, challenges, and experiences. See how each circle overlaps, touching and influencing the others, creating a tapestry of interconnectedness. Reflect on how each part of your journey contributes to the whole, each experience adding depth and wisdom to your being. The flower of life reminds you that there is a divine order to your path, even in moments of uncertainty. Allow yourself to feel a deep sense of gratitude for this journey, for the experiences that have shaped you, and for the sacred web of connections that binds you to all of existence. Finally, visualize the Vesica piscis, the almond-shaped form created by the intersection of two circles, symbolizing the union of spirit and matter, the merging of opposites within you. See this shape as a portal in the center of your being, a space of balance and creation. Allow this symbol to serve as a reminder that you are both earthly and divine, a unique expression of the cosmos in physical form. Feel the energy of this union harmonizing within you, balancing intellect with intuition, strength with compassion, and ambition with surrender. Embrace this space as a sanctuary within, where the dualities of life come together to create a whole. In this union, feel the presence of your own highest self, the part of you that is eternally connected to the source of all creation. As you conclude this meditation, take a moment to rest in the silence, feeling the patterns of sacred geometry alive within you. Know that these forms are not static. They are living symbols that evolve with you, their wisdom growing deeper as you continue your journey. Sacred geometry is not only around you but within you, a reminder of the divine potential that resides in every cell of your being. When you are ready, gently open your eyes, carrying this awareness forward with you. May the sacred shapes you have embraced serve as guides on your path, illuminating the beauty of your existence and the universal harmony that connects all things. And as you move through life, may you see yourself as a reflection of the cosmos, a perfect embodiment of the patterns that weave the universe into being.